Hello, Brian. All right. So, shit, that's so fucking loud. So I wanted to talk about how I got a new sim racing setup and how I want to do more videos. And I think little mini project of mine is do this stuff sometimes on like the weekends or whatever, and not doing anything too special, just something for myself. Maybe get like a to the YouTubes and dabble into the YouTubes and all that shit. So to begin my sim racing career, whatever, kind of just starts now. I bought and got my Logitech G920 with my shifter, Logitech shifter. Thing is alright. It works. It taught me how to do stick. I never had to drive stick because my dad doesn't have a car and stick, and also he's not a car person. And the thing is, I'm like the only car person in my family that is close to me. And I've wanted a racing wheel for years and years and years, and all I've wanted is just to play a racing game, have that full experience by just using the wheel and all that. In which I did. I started it off with a little crappy Thrustmaster Ferrari like Spider steering wheel. It was like $90, and I used that and a little TV dinner tray, and I put it on there, and I used the hell out of that thing so much that thing broke. But however, I broke it accidentally after when trying to like overcorrect myself, and the little stuff snapped. Little like connectors snapped because they're just so crappily made. They're like made out of hollow plastic. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play. Just gonna just play and use a controller from now on. I sometimes used it. After a while, I used duct tape um, to hold the steering wheel in place, and all it in my after that, it's like 2018 or so. I kind of just stopped. I just stopped just playing sim racing games. It was Forza Motorsport 7 for me, and I love the hell out of that thing. I loved it and loved it and loved it so much, and forgot about it mostly. And then one day, something inside of me awakened, and it's during COVID, so beginning of 2021, almost like a year ago, not a year ago, but almost 2 years ago, when I was a sophomore in high school. Um, Senior now, but whatever. I decided to get my Xbox from my brother's room, the controller, to start playing Forza 7 because I had nothing better to do. I stopped playing Destiny finally for like a 2 year fucking spin, and I was done with Destiny. I was so tired of it. And my parents bought me or helped me with my new PC, and they cheered me on like, "Yay, you doing stuff that you like, whatever. You bought your own PC, or we gave you a PC and you modified it and you got a case for it. Why don't you use that?" I was like, "No, I just want to play sim racing, not sim racing, but I want to play Forza Motorsport 7 and some Forza Horizon 3 and 4." And and before that, before I got into that whole spiel again, before I kicked off, I was playing Forza 4 for a little bit, like off and on, and then I got bored of it, and my brother wanted to play it, and so he played it for a little bit because he just played it with friends, and also he just, I mean, it's open world, so inbox car game with racing objectives and stuff, and he just let him play it. But after that, played it, whatever, got used to the car thing, and I was like, huh, I like Corvettes. I've always liked Corvettes. My parents got me a Corvette poster. I have a Corvette model car, or I didn't have one at the time, but I had a Camaro model car, Camaro ZR1 in green, 2020, not 2020, but like 2018 or 2017, I don't remember, but it's in green. And at the same time, I had a yellow Z06 Corvette model car 124. Same thing with the Camaro. And my sim racing thing, my gears in my head started going. I was like, huh, Corvette, sounds fun. And so I would hop on the Corvette, play with it a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna tune it, whatever. So I play, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play Sebring. I'm gonna play Sebring. This map is cool. It's on an old World War II map. Not map, but plane. Plane airport. That's the word. It's an old World War II training bomber, like B-17 or B-29 trainer airport, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna play on this a lot, and I got a C4 ZR1 Corvette. I was like, cool, I think I won it or bought it when it was on sale with the in-game currency. I was like, oh, this is cool, and then I played it. It was like, this car is cool, and I modified it, bought everything for it, and started adjusting it, started fine-tuning. And since I was stuck inside for, I don't know, a month straight, I was like, fuck it, why not? And I kept on playing it. I played it like the entire time I was in quarantine. And because my parents got COVID, I didn't get COVID somehow. And for some reason, I didn't get it, like I said. And all I did was just play Forza Motorsport 7 with the C4 01. And I just had the time of my life. I loved it so much, and I just played it, and I sat on my little seat, my little couch that I had on my room, and on the TV I had a big room for a while before I moved into my dad's, and I just played, and then I got lost. I got lost in the thing, in the racing. I was so immersed where I just phase out. I would listen to music while racing, and I did it so much. I sunk so much time into Sebring on Forza Motorsport 7, and it just, like, it literally was my life. But it wasn't to the point where I was just like failing school. I was like, I want to race. And then, but when after I got back into school, I had a block scheduling, which is like hour-and-a-half long classes compared to the hour-long classes, and you had, and for my school, it was first and third, and then fifth, and then seventh. Seventh was every day, 7 periods, 7 hours. But however, we would have 4 periods a day, and the first 3 were an hour and a half long with a 30-minute lunch in between. And I was so far behind in work, I had to like rush everything. My like teachers just gave me tests to take home, because otherwise, like, they weren't like, obviously they weren't take-home tests. They just gave me a test just to write on and all that stuff. And I ended up getting a 3.2 GPA, 3.3 or something. And that was pretty much the end of it. I sometimes played sim racing off and on, but really and truly, I really didn't really give a shit about racing. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play this sometimes, and then I would play it during the summer. However, I did play it a lot until I just got bored with it. And my steering wheel, like, I asked my dad, like, hey, can I get a steering wheel? Or I looked up and look how much they actually cost, like a good one, like the G920 that I have. And that with the steering wheel and shifter, I wasn't really interested in a shifter. It was $500, and I was like, why is this so expensive? It doesn't make any sense. And the fact is, like, what really deterred me for a long time is the fact this is so pricey and expensive. I only had so much. I only had maybe like $100 or so in my for allowance, or something like that. And I was like, damn, that's expensive. And I asked my dad, like, hey, when the year ends, can I get a steering wheel? Can I get this? And he was like, no, I'll get you a Steam gift card. How about that? I was like, cool, fine by me. And I just forgot about sim racing. And then my junior year of high school started. I just forgot about cars. I wasn't really interested in them. I did here and there watch car videos, but really and truly, end of my junior year, I started watching IMSA and 24 Hours of Daytona and the 12 Hours of Sebring and the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which I watched only a little bit. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I had followed it a little bit. And I remember watching Daytona, and I think it was the year 2022, so the beginning of 2022. So I remember Daytona, watching the two Acuras, the red and the blue Acura, battle to the very end. It was awesome. I was just like, this shit is so cool. I fucking love this. And it was at my dad's house, the one where I am right now. I was like, this is so cool. And I watched him one race across the finish line. I remember seeing two Porsches practically doing the same thing, battling each other for first in their class. However, these Acuras were battling for first overall. And Corvette, I've long given up on Corvette. At that point, I was like, cool, that's awesome. But I just like, whatever. And I think they like had technical difficulties halfway through, or they just got stuck. But I was rooting for Acura because I love Acura. I loved Acura for a while. My first car was an Acura, and before it got crashed, unfortunately. And or not crashed, but someone crashed into me. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And I was like, cool, awesome, whatever. And till something like November of last year, so November 2022. I didn't follow cars up until then. And then I got a gift card either for Thanksgiving, or I just bought a game just because it was on sale. My car interest peaked again because I was driving and all that stuff, and it reawakened in me for like the 5th fucking time in my lifetime. And what I really just wanted was a racing game, something that I could use a controller or keyboard to get, but also the mechanical nerd in me wanted a thing just to mess around with. Another game, so I bought Automation and BeamNG. It was like 20 or 30 bucks for both of them. I sunk maybe 100 hours, but in both games respectively, or combined, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I played them off and on for a while. And when I got back and rewatching Jimmy Broadbent and all these other YouTubers, and that were getting into thing and getting back into just following loosely about Formula One and all that stuff, and getting back into Hoonigan and watching them, or not really watching them, but following them on Instagram and all that stuff. And then Ken Block died, and I thought, shit, he was the reason why I got into this in the first place. I loved Hoonigan. My first technical car game was Forza Horizon 3. Fucking love that game. And before Forza Horizon 3, my cars only really peaked in Hot Wheels when I was younger. And I only got Forza Horizon 3. It was like, I like cars, kind of. I like following them. And so I remember, I think it was like 2017 or whatever, I wanted to get Forza Motorsport 7 because I was watching it on YouTube. So this is cool. I love this. And my parents were like, no, don't have any money. Just bought a new house. And got me Forza Horizon 3. That slowly devolved, getting me into me my dad getting me or buying me Forza Motorsport 7, basically dumping my girlfriend at the time to fucking play Forza Motorsport 7. I was like, you know what? You're a burden to me. Get the fuck out of my life. And I was like e-dating, all that shit at the time, but it's irrelevant to now. But now, I was like, hey, I wanted to race in the virtual world because that's the cheaper, ultimately cheaper than buying a shitbox Miata, fixing it up with every paycheck, not saving anything, and I have to ditch or sell my other car. It's a daily driver. It's like, no, I'm gonna buy a wheel. I was reluctant at first. I was like, okay, I'm gonna think about it. And it was like one day, I was like, for about a week, I was like, I've wanted one for years. I've wanted one since I was like 13 or something. And I remember wanting one for Boy Scouts. I wanted to fulfill one of my ranks or whatever. I wanted to mow lawns for a summer and then buy expensive sim racing thing. My parents were like, "This is a dumb idea. When the fuck would you do that?" And it kind of was. It was about $700 worth of sim racing equipment, which I would have ultimately. My parents were like, "Okay, maybe this is a phase," and it wasn't a phase in the end. So now I bought it. I told my dad, I was like, "What the fuck? Are you serious? Why would you spend $500 on a sim racing wheel and a stand and a shifter?" I was like, "You don't understand. I've wanted one for years. I've asked you. Now that I have a job and a car, I was like, it reawakened me. And if I don't scratch this itch, it's gonna disappear forever, or it's gonna be another phase." And I get the wheel. I wait, anticipate it every day. I'm checking my phone for it, tracking the package. And then boom, it shows up. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And I take it out of the box. I'm like hungry as hell because I just got home from school and it's inside because my dad came home for lunch or whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna set this up and play some BeamNG. I'm like, okay. And my brother was like, cool. I get to do whatever I want. I was like, that's cool. I set it up and I was like, okay, I'm going to. The BeamNG isn't the best game to play for sim racing. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy Assetto Corsa, and I get Assetto Corsa, and I really just like I buy it, and then boom, about 2 weeks later, hell, on Valentine's Day, I'm playing Assetto Corsa. I'm by myself, and sim racing has practically just like saved me, I guess, in a sense. And before that, I was kind of like in a seasonal depression or whatever. I was kind of like depressed, kind of, because I didn't really have any fun. I lost my car back in October. I started driving in August, and then I lost it in October. And I got the insurance money, and then I got a new car, which wasn't as cool, and it had problems, and I had to fix it for $700. And my dad paid for half of it, and I paid for half of it, so it's all good, thankfully. And now I have this sim racing wheel, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna spend my summer working, coming home, playing some fucking video games. And the video games are gonna be Assetto Corsa, or whatever other games that I play or find interesting. So really and truly, sim racing, if you really want to, just try it. It's better to do it in the virtual world, because if you buy a wheel, it's really like super realistic. Like I was sim racing for the longest time, and I got my learner's permit, and that helped me, or sim racing before I got my learner's permit when I was 16, helped me learn how to drive, be spatially aware and all that, when to brake, when not to brake, when to accelerate, when not to accelerate, and all that stuff, and be also aware, again, like I said. And honestly, I can never be more thankful to Jamie Broadbent, Super GT, that guy, and just overall just curiosity and just having fun. And on the meanwhile, when I was in my sim racing disappearance, I was just collecting, or when I say collecting, I was just putting model cars on my birthday list because they were cheap. They were like $23 compared to a $500 fucking sim racing wheel. And lo and behold, sim racing has just helped me out. And I would like to say thank you again to Jimmy Broadbent, Super GT, Hoonigan, and all those people who have inspired me to take a step in my dream in becoming a just overall good driver. I don't expect to be a part of any team. I'm fucking dog shit at racing, but however, I've improved upon myself and gotten better, and I like this. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. Nigga, I suck. Just one.